This video I'm going to go over how to use a power twister. Somebody actually sent me a message saying that they ordered a 40 kilogram power twister, but they were not able to bend it, and he's asking what he has to do, how is he going to train himself in order to properly bend it. The quickest response that I have to that is to get the one below it, so get the 30 kilogram and build yourself up to the 40. That would be the best ideal way to build up in order to do, a power twister that you can't do. I have all the different power twisters at the different strength levels, and I'll demonstrate them. And once again, I'll go over some tips. So this is probably one of the basic ones. This is one of the basic ones that they offer. And I have the ones where they actually tell you how strong they are. This one doesn't tell you how strong it is. This is one of the easiest ones that they have out there. It's probably one of the least expensive. This one's kind of more like flimsy. It kind of wiggles a little bit, so it makes it easier to bend. This is definitely for beginners. You would start off going like this, just to bend it in till your hands touch. Okay. Then they offer another one which is stronger. It doesn't move around as much as this one. They both don't tell you how strong they are, but there's clearly a difference. This one is a little bit more difficult, but relatively not too hard. Okay, so you would bend it like that. Now these are the ones that don't tell you like how strong they are, but they're probably around 30 kilograms. The strength level based on the comparison to this brand right here. This one's called Ihuniu, so IHUNIU Incorporated. So this brand right here actually tells you how strong each power twister is. This one's a 20 kilogram power twister, which equals to 44 pounds. It's a small miniature one compared to this. So this 20 kilogram power twister is probably good for the kids. As you can see, it's very easy to bend it. So this is not gonna, for most adults, this is not gonna be enough of a challenge. But I ordered the easiest one up to the hardest one, so then I have the full set. So if you're an adult, then it would be pretty clear to probably not order the 20 kilogram because it'll be too easy. This is more for children. Okay. The next level up is the 30 kilogram. Now, even though this one looks, this is 66 pounds. So same company, all right. So it's progressively getting stronger now, and the consistency of the strength is pretty accurate. The more you keep using it, it does break in a little bit, but it still is a challenge, and it doesn't really lose its strength level. This 30 kilogram is similar to this model right here. As far as the easiness of its bend, it might be actually harder. Definitely harder than it's definitely harder than this one. Even though this one is a bigger power twister, this black one, this little one, the 30 kilogram is a lot hard. It's harder than this one. This one I would imagine is probably 25 kilograms. If I compare it to this one, the one that doesn't shake around as much, let's see the difference. It's about similar. This one might be a little bit more difficult than this one. So the 30 kilogram would be a good power twister for the beginners, and I think they even labeled it as that. A beginner adult. Most kids will have a hard time bending this one, but this is a good one to start off with, okay? So the 30 kilogram. The next one after that is the 40 kilogram. Now it's going to be starting to get harder. This is 88 pounds. So you would grab it here, have your elbows up like this, so not like that, but here, and just once it starts getting harder, it's a good idea to put the strap on in case it flies back at you. It doesn't hit your jaw. Another thing is, or your mouth, or your nose, or your eye. And you gotta be careful, because if you bend over like this and then you lose control of it, then it hits you in the head. But if you stand straight up like this, back straight, then it's gonna be less likely that it'll hit you back. And once again, have the straps on for safety. This is when it's gonna get more difficult, but it's still able to bend. If you have enough strength, you want to kind of let it, you want to come back more slowly, so you could get that negative rep where it'll challenge the muscles, not just on the in but also on the out. These power twisters is like a whole upper body workout. It engages the core a little bit. It works the chest, it works the biceps, it works the shoulders. It's pretty much getting the whole upper body involved in the exercise. Okay. Another way to do it is palms up. This will focus more on the bicep muscles, and this is a harder grip, so it'll be more difficult to do it palms up than it would be doing palms down. Okay. The difference is when you do it palms up, you don't really necessarily have to put the strap on, because if it flings back, it'll come back down, it won't come back up. So you don't necessarily have to put the straps on for this one, but this is the palms up version of the technique. Okay, bring it in like that. So as you can see, I'm able to do the 40. It's not that big of a deal for me, but the people that haven't used this before, this could be difficult. So if you've never used it before, I would probably recommend to start off with the 30 first, until you can make sure that you're doing it really well before you upgrade to the 40. Alright, so the 40 kilogram. After the 40 kilogram, it's going to be the 50 kilogram right here. This is the 50 kilogram, this is 110 pounds. Now it's going to be serious, it's going to get a lot harder. Okay, so if you put it right here, I try to bend it like this. Try not to cheat, so I'll show you some cheating methods later, but I want to try to do it without cheating by just start from here and just bend it from there. Okay, so that wasn't too easy, but it was doable. Okay, so 50 kilograms is the next one, and then the next one after that would be the 60 kilogram. So the 60 kilogram is 132 pounds. Now this is really difficult for me. Actually, I have the 80 kilograms that I'll show you, but I've been using the 80 kilograms for a long time and they've been broken in. For some reason, the 60 kilogram right now is more difficult to do than the 80 kilogram. I think it's maybe because it hasn't been broken in or whatever. I'm not sure. But this is very difficult for me. So I'll show you my demonstration of it, and basically I'll give you the tips of what to do if you can't do it. Alright, so right here, I'm trying to do it like this, just like the other ones. Okay, alright, I was able to get that. Alright, so this is the 60 kilogram. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, so the next one is the 80 kilogram. But this one has been broken in. This is supposed to be 176 pounds. So it's supposed to be more difficult than the other one. They don't have 70 kilograms. They jump from 60 to 80. So this is the 80 kilogram. We'll see if I can bend this one. This should be easier than the other one because this is more broken in. So we'll see. Okay, so they're able to bend this one. Alright, so the last one that they offer is the 100 kilogram. Alright, so this is the hardest one that they offer. So they go from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, then they skip 70, they jump to 80, and then they skip 90, they jump to 100. And this is the one that I've never done before. This is 220 pounds, 100 kilograms. And I haven't seen anybody do this that I know personally. I think there's some people on YouTube that can do it, but you don't know. It's a video. You don't know what they've done to it. You don't know if they manipulated it or whatever the case may be. But this is extremely difficult to do. And I purchased this. I spent a lot of money on it, but I can't do it, But but I wanted the whole set just to have something to aim for. But you'll see me try right here. Let's see. Yeah, I can't even bend it so at all. So basically, so what am I supposed to do if I can't do this? I mean, there are ways that you could cheat to try to bend it. I'll go back down to, let's say, I'll go back down to the 60, because this one's not easy. So you could put it against your hip and bend it like this, because the hardest part is getting that initial bend. Once you get that initial bend, then it gets easier from there. So you could put it against your hip like this and just kind of bend it like that. So here, just basically use like your leg as leverage, like putting it right here, like in your inner thigh or your stomach, even your stomach, and start this bend like this. So here, like that. But then it gets dangerous because they'll fly back at you. It's basically not safe to be using something where you just can't do it, like legitly. So I would recommend just to spend the money just to get the one below it. Like right here, the 60 is just too hard. You know, it's too challenging. So drop down to 50. You know, just get something easier that's more manageable. Even this one, now that I'm tired, is still hard. So you drop down to the 40. Let's see if I can do the 40. Alright, the 40 is just more manageable. Alright, so you have to, basically, there's really not much ways around it. Because it's not safe to be trying to force, you know, this, you know, to force it when you can't do it. You know, because this stuff can hurt you pretty badly. I mean, this is steel flying back at your face, you know, at full force. I just bought the 100 because I thought that I'll be able to do it, but I can't. But it's just good to have the set. I mean, it's just getting like dumbbells. Like, if you got dumbbells, you know, 40-pound dumbbells, and it's too heavy for you, then, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, you gotta get the 35s, or get the 30s, or get the 25s. This is just how they structured it, and it's just nice that they have the progression that you can build up to something more difficult, rather than just having these black ones where it's just one standard, easy, like too easy. You know, this is like 25 kilograms, and you could do it like 100 times, 200 times. It's just not providing a challenge. So it's just great that they did come up with an idea or the technology to be able to progressively build yourself. But at the same time, you gotta buy the right one for you. I mean, if you bought shoes that are too big, what are you gonna do to fit them? I mean, the easiest thing to do is either return the shoes or just buy the right fitting shoes and maybe give away the shoes that are too big for you. Same thing with a suit or pants. I mean, things are bought according to what is customized to you. You know, so if you're serious about working out, then you're gonna buy the dumbbell sets that go from, you know, 3 pounds all the way up to 40 or 50 pounds, or however much you can lift. You're not just gonna buy just the 40-pound weights and that's it. There's different exercises that you have to do that you're not gonna be able to lift the 40 pounds, or certain exercises where 40 pounds might not be enough. So, you know, I decided to get the whole set so then it could challenge everybody no matter what strength level they're at. You know, it is a shame that they jumped from 80 kilograms all the way up to 100. You know, just basically skipping the 90, which makes it very difficult because I could do the 60, I could do the 80, but I can't do the 100. So then now I'm kind of stuck. you know, and there's really not much I could do about that, but just keep practicing with the ones that I can do. So that's just what I would recommend. You know, just if you can't do it, just buy the one that's lower and just keep working on it until you can build up to the one that you can't do. It's the same thing with these, this training device that I got called Captains of Crush. This is for your forearms. I bought 5 of them. It starts with the sport version, which is the easiest one, and then they have the trainer version, which is the next level above that, and then they have the number 0.5, and then they have the number 1, and then they have the 1.5, and they keep going higher and higher. They got the 2, the 2.5, the 3, the 3.5, the 4, and it just gets harder and harder and harder to the point where, like, right now I can't even fully squeeze. The hardest one that I have is the 1.5, and if you look at me try to squeeze this thing, especially after working out, you know, I can't get it to touch. So then why there's no sense of me buying the 2.0 when I can't even get to 1.5 to touch. So, you know, I probably spent like $40 on this thing. Okay, so then now what do? I can't do it. Well, I could cheat by using both hands and making it touch with both hands, but it's still not really working out the way that I'm supposed to with one hand. So I can't get it to touch. So what do? I buy the 1.0, and the 1.0 is still hard to get to touch. So even right now, I can't, I'm still not there, still like a centimeter away. So even the 1 is too hard. So then what I get after that, I got the 0.5, which is supposed to be easier. So I should be able to get this one to touch. At least got it to touch 1 time, but it's still, I was only able to get it to touch once. If I try to touch it again, it just won't touch. So the one below that one is the trainer. The trainer, I can't get it to touch, maybe several times. You can get it to touch. So the trainer would be a good one to train with. That's why it's called the trainer. It's a good healthy balance between like not too hard but not too easy either. And then the one below the trainer is the sport version. This is the easiest one. You can just pop out multiple reps and just work out that way. So just like with that, there's different levels of progression. There's also, you see it out there in the market. You go to Marshall's or Target or Walmart, you see the cheaper hand grips that just don't even tell you how strong it is, and you could do it like 1,000 times, but the benefit of something like this is that there's strength levels and different stages that you could build up to, and that's why it's worth the money, and that's why they have a market, a niche, compared to all the other manufacturers that create the ones that are just too easy. This manufacturer decided to create the different levels of progression to basically appeal to the people that are very serious about training, where they want to build up to the next level. So when it comes to the power twister, it's the same concept. You think that the 40 kilogram is easy, and then all of a sudden you can't do it. So then what ends up happening is you have to order the 30. And you got to build up to the 40. The only one that you could probably skip as an adult is the 20, because this is really easy. It's pretty much for children. So people that have been working out a lot, you're like serious into working out, and you know what you're capable of doing and what you're not, then hey, maybe you could jump up to the 50 power twister or to the 60 power twister, but if you end up overestimating your abilities, and then now you purchase something like this 100 kilogram power twister and you can't even do it 1 time, then what ends up happening is just sitting there collecting dust. And that's what happened. This thing has a bunch of dust all over it. Nobody could even do it once. Just to get it to bend a little bit, you can't. It's just it's so difficult. But like I said, I felt it worth the money to invest in having the whole set, so that people, they could build up, and maybe one day I might meet somebody that could actually bend this thing. But as of right now, this is so hard that I haven't seen anybody that could bend it. But at the same time, you know, I give credit to the company to create something that somebody can't do. Because then it shows that, you know, the limitations of what humans are capable of doing, you know, and it gives you a goal to strive towards. Because if the hardest one was the 80, you know, or the 80 kilograms, you know, is supposed to be the hardest one, and here I'm bending it like nothing, then, you know, you think, you know, you have an overestimation, you know, you overestimated your strength, and you're building this type of, like, you know, this type of unrealistic confidence that you're able to do something that you know, there's always a way to go further. So it's good that they created something that nobody could do, you know, or very few people could do. You know, so it's just like the split machine that I purchased. That thing actually goes all the way around in the 360 degrees beyond the 180. The 180 is the full middle split, but the split machine goes 360. Now, there's pretty much nobody that could go 360, but the fact that it can do that allows the person that's training to constantly try to improve upon where he's at. You know, just like with the bench press, you know, you can always add more weight onto the bar and challenge yourself beyond what you're capable of. So if you ended up purchasing something that you can't do, then go ahead and get the step lower, so you can build up to maybe one day do something that you can't do. But that's my recommendation, especially with something that's as dangerous as this, where it can fly back at you and hit you. You don't want to get injured. I mean, there's some people that I think have lost a tooth because this thing flew back at them and hit them. You know, I mean, this is not something to take lightly. So just be careful, you know. Start off in a slow progression and build yourself up. It is a great exercise tool, you know, bending it this way, bending it this way. And there's other creative things you could do. You could put it back here and bend it up here. You could put it behind your back like this and try to bend it behind your back. I mean, it's just different things that you can do, but the most basic is, the easiest is bending it here and then bending it here, you know. And if this is too easy, then go ahead and try to bend it from here. And even if you have these ones that are super easy, to make this one more difficult, just hold it closer in. So instead of holding it from here, hold it from here, and that basically turns like it from 25 to like probably a 40 right there. Like if you hold it here, it's probably as difficult to do as this. It's actually more difficult to do from here. This is probably 50. When you hold it from here, it's probably 50. 25 here, 50 here, and then, you know, it's another way to try to make it more difficult, to make it more challenging, you know. And then you could kind of have your palms up and try to bend it from there as well, which makes it more difficult. So that's my recommendation on that. I thank everybody for all your support. And if you haven't already, if you like our videos, then go ahead and subscribe. Take care.